Good afternoon and to everyone, and welcome back to the Women's Geographers Corner. This is a space of dissemination for making visible the professional work, teaching, research, and all the milestones achieved by women in the field of geography. This time, we welcome Professor Narimah Samat from the University Science Malaysia. She is also our first Asian interviewee. The title of the presentation is Flood and Landslide Occurrence and Risk in Malaysia. So welcome Narimah and selamat datang ke Sudut Ali Geography.
Okay, thanks, Hannah. First of all, I'd like to thank Sergio Molina Palacios for helping us get in touch with today's guest speaker, Professor Narimah Samat. I also want to thank Professor Pablo Jimenez Font, a geographer and coordinator of the Masters in Planning and Management of Natural Risks at the Inter-University Institute of Geography, for his role in organizing this conference. The director of this institute sends his apologies. Unfortunately, he could not be with us today due to personal reasons. Okay, if you want to speak, Sergio.
Thank you so much. Just simply, I would like to thank Professor Narimah Samat for visiting us here at the University of Alicante. In the last years, I have been working closely with University Science Malaysia in a capacity building project that we have carried out in the development of a master in geomatics for natural disaster. And thanks to this project, we have made an agreement for mobility between staff and students from University Science Malaysia and University of Alicante. And thanks to that agreement, we have the possibility of having here to Professor Narimah with this talk. So I think that now I can just simply
Okay, thanks, Sergio. I'm going to let something about or introduce our speaker. Professor Narimah Samat is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Academic and International Affairs at University Science Malaysia. She's also a Professor of Geographic Information System at the School of Humanities at the same university, located in Penang, Malaysia. She holds a Bachelor of Science in GIS and Mathematics from Southeast Texas State University in the United States, a Master of Arts in GIS and Urban Modeling from University Science Malaysia, and a Doctor of Philosophy in GIS and Urban Spatial Modeling from the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom. Her research focuses on the application of GIS in urban land use planning and in the analysis of social uses. Among her projects are the modeling of urban spatial growth and the study of spatial inequalities in access to healthcare, higher education, and poverty mapping. This afternoon, I can try that. Okay. And today, her talk is titled Flood and Landslide Occurrence and Risk in Malaysia. Professor Samat, the floor is yours. Okay. I'm going to take another headphones for us, maybe.
yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you, Professor Maria. Okay, from Department of Geography at University of Alicante. First, I would like to thank Professor Sergio for making this collaboration a success. So we received, as mentioned earlier, we started working on projects on disaster risk reduction. And fortunately, we managed to offer a master program in geomatics for disaster risk reduction. We have several students already working on their master under these projects. Today, I'm so fortunate to be able to come here to visit a beautiful campus here in University of Alicante and to share a bit of research that myself and my team at School of Humanities, University Science Malaysia are doing. So the title for today's presentation is more of sharing what physical phenomena that have occurred quite frequently in Malaysia, which is on flood and landslide occurrence and risk in Malaysia. So the work basically done in our lab in geoinformatics units, University Science Malaysia, where we have several lecturers. A few of us are working together in different area. One of it is in disaster risk reduction. So I would talk about a little bit introduction on and also disaster and flood occurrence in Malaysia, and also geospatial technology in flood mapping. And then I'll touch a little bit on landslide, and then I'll conclude the presentation. If we look at disaster impacts under United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction reports, from 1980 to 1999, as compared to 2000 and 2019, for example, we can see significant increase in the reported of the disaster that occur worldwide. For example, in the past 20 years, for example, between 1980 to 1999, it's only about 4,000 reported disaster as compared to 7,000 the following 20 years. The same goes with total death. In 1.19 million in between 1980 to 1999, and it increased to 1.23 million. Total affected in terms of monetary is also more than 1.63 trillion and increased to 2.97 trillion. So the statistics showed that disaster have been occurring and it increased quite significantly in the past. Looking at total disaster by events and types, also we can see that across the world, drought, earthquake, extreme temperature, flood, landslide, mass movement of dry weather, storm, volcanic activity, wildfire, those are among disasters that threaten our livelihood nowadays. So looking at the number of disasters by countries, we can see that some countries are having different, quite a large number of disasters that occur. For example, in a few regions where, based on the maps, Coroplast map shown, some darker area experiencing higher number of disaster. By the way, Malaysia is in Southeast Asia region. We are surrounded with islands of Borneo, Sumatra, for example. We having less disaster compared to our neighboring countries. However, the significant increase in terms of the number of the natural disasters such as flood and also landslide require urgent attention among researcher and the policymaker alike. So the same report also showed that the number of population exposed to flood in Southeast Asia region, for example, in this map, darker color showing that more than between 23 to 98% population are exposed to flood occurrence. So in this region where Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, those are the areas that are have a very high risk of floods. Okay, let me share a bit on flood occurrence in Malaysia. The map here is showing the populations that are exposed to flood. This, by the way, this is just the exact map showing where the location of Peninsular Malaysia. So our by the way, I'm coming from University Science Malaysia, which is in northwest of Malaysia, in the island of Pulau Pinang. Yeah, here. So basically, Malaysia also faces significant risk from both flood and landslide, particularly because of tropical climate and also heavy monsoon rain. It occurs particularly between November, December, and sometimes it can end in March. Hilly terrain is also where the central part of Peninsular Malaysia is where the hilly area there that are prone to landslide. So affected area for flood, but particularly low-lying and coastal area of Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, and also Johor, that where it is located in the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. Nowadays, we can see also urban center like Kuala Lumpur has faced flash flood, particularly due to an inadequate drainage system to cater for heavy runoff from the heavy rainfall. So the diagram down here is showing that the number of evacuated flood victims. You can see the peak. This is the data taken from 2021, between December 2021 and January 2022. It peaks during toward the last week of December. So news regarding floods in Malaysia. For example, one news in BBC News, 1 December 2024, Malaysia and Thailand flooding kills at least 12 and more than 100,000 people and 30,000 from southern Thailand displaced. This is due to the flood. So this became common news that we can see during heavy rains, for example, where sometimes it also caused death. Death toll, for example, in the flood in December 2022, about 27. So this become very much a problem to the nation because it not only caused the death but also significant loss in property and damage of vehicles and disruption in daily life. This is just a table showing flood occurrence in Malaysia. The data is from 2010 to 2021. The area in the northern part of Malaysia and also the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia are very much a problem because of the monsoon rain. The cause of damage is also can have significant impact on paddy fields. The farmers' livelihood are very much exposed to this extreme weather condition. So in Malaysia, we have Department of Irrigation Malaysia. They are very much into planning, taking care of drainage and irrigation in Malaysia. They have come. They are also working closely with other department, other government agency to mitigate in terms of mitigation project, and also in terms of planning and also strategic initiative to overcome this problem. There are structural and non-structural measures undertaken. For example, flood mitigation projects, upgrading of river and drainage system, dam, reservoir, diversion of water, embankment of river and the beach, and also pump house were created along the river bank, and also in the areas that are heavily flooded, that are prone to flood. And also non-structural initiative, for example, floodplain management, flood forecasting and warning, flood map, land use planning, education and awareness for the population, and also development control. So the aim was to control and reduce flooding, reduce damage and flood losses, and also protect life and of the people and property. Okay. In our lab, for example, we work also closely in terms of monitoring water catchment area, in terms of looking for how to map and also to see the impact of flood into the surrounding region. We use geospatial technology in analyzing flood. In this study, we published in International Journal of Geoinformation, for example, we're looking at flood inundation mapping framework, where based on the methodology we created using sentinel data and also rainfall analysis, we developed the map. We map for the flooded area to give indication of how the damage from this flood. In 2021 and 2022 flood, one of the serious flood event in Malaysian history, where the victim is about 70,000 people evacuated, and we have about 54 killed during this flood. So in this study, we work with two states, Pahang and Selangor. Based on the map, we acquire flood point, and then we also look at the point from the Department of Irrigation data, and then we map flood inundation within the two states. Geospatial technology for modeling and effective flood mapping provide the authority ways to predict, and also way to accurately look at where the flood will occur and how severe they are likely to cause the damage. So this is also under flood inundation problem. We look at the spatial distribution of evacuation victim, flood victim in Peninsular Malaysia. This is based on data from 17 December 2021 up until 10th of January. So we map it out, okay, and then we look at spatial changes of daily precipitation in the Peninsular Malaysia, and then we created the flood inundation map for, this is for Selangor and also for Pahang and also for Selangor. So the other study that we conducted is we created a flood hazard map. Usually major flood normally found during the early phase of the northeast monsoon from November to January. For example, if trend analysis, the trend is that we look at the data from 1971, and then 2006, 2007, 2014, 2006, 2015, and then up to 2018. Unexpected extreme precipitation from mid-December to early January usually has caused devastating flood in 7 states in the Peninsular Malaysia. And also in Department of Irrigation, for example, have a classification code for flood hazard based on the degree of severity. For example, low, the flood that's less than 0.5 meter as compared to very high, dangerous, extremely dangerous, or the flood at 2.5 meter. So the framework used for producing the flood map was like looking at catchment properties, river alignment, river cross-section and structure, and also the data from flood elevation and terrain. So data were collected from various sources, satellite images, maps, and also reading undertaken from the station, meteorology session. Based on hydrological analysis, hydraulic analysis, and terrain analysis, combine it into flood routing simulation, then we produce time series flood map. So finally, we can produce a flood hazard map, which can be used for early warning system and also for planning for this disaster. Another study that I would like to share is on flood risk modeling. This is conducted by, the project is conducted by one of our postgrad student on flood multi-hazard mapping. If we look at 3 states, Perlis, Kedah, Penang, for example, we use this Muda River catchment as the study area. The same goes with the slide which I just shared earlier, the news regarding flood that have occurred in the northern region that have caused quite 232 hectares of paddy field. They are ready to be harvested, affected by the flood. So the loss is more than 2 million Malaysian ringgit, and the government have to look at the post-recovery action on how to repair and to help the livelihood of the farmers. So these are the study area, River Muda Basin. As I mentioned earlier, this work is conducted by one of our postgraduate students on supervised by our team, where we presented already in international conference on environment in December 2024. So the size of this river basin is about 4,111 kilometers square. They have 2 dams in there, Muda dams and also Beris dam. This Muda river basin provide water supply to the northern part of Peninsular Malaysia. So heavy rain of more than 250 millimeter per month during inter-monsoon season. So in this study, we look at flood risk modeling using SWOT framework, where the data come from USGS and landslide Map Malaysia, and also data input, other data input including DEM, river network, weather data, and soil data. So based on this framework, they use analytical hierarchy process of multi-criteria evaluation approach to combine all the criteria being identified. So based on historical flood location throughout the Muda River Basin, so then flood risk factor was generated. For example, flood hazard based on surface runoff and also rainfall, and then flood vulnerability, land use, soil texture, drainage density, distance to river, slope, and elevation was used. Based on flood exposure, where we look at population density, then flood risk map was created, where it's combined flood hazard, flood vulnerability, and flood exposure. So, sorry. Sorry, I want to go back to, okay. Okay, based on the combination of that, we produce a flood risk map for this river basin. So this is one of the approach used using geospatial technology to identify flood risk area that can be used as an early warning system or a planning purposes for the government agency in terms of overcoming the flood that occur quite frequently in this area. Flood usage, for example, for planning of flood mitigation project, land use planning by local authority or planning Malaysia, planning and replacement of public facilities, information and awareness of flood risk to resident and stakeholder, and also for the basic for flood planning. So that is one of the natural disaster that occur that we use spatial technology to map it and also understand the flood that have occurred particularly in the northern region of Peninsular Malaysia. Another disaster that have caused significant impact disaster in Malaysia is landslide. The view here is Highland Tower. Yeah, back in 1993, Malaysia was shocked when we see that landslide had caused the collapse of Highland Tower. They have 3 towers close together, and one of the towers collapsed due to a landslide. Until now, although various initiative or various proposal was tried to be used to redevelop the area, but it's still nothing concrete have been done, and it's left just like that. So the impact is so significant and caused a shock for the country during that period. In terms of managing slope in Malaysia, we have a national slope master plan produced by government. It's a publication for Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia. It was published in 2009 that have been used as a guideline to monitor the slope in Malaysia. So the map here is showing that the type of rocks, granite, metamorphic rock, and others where historical landslide location have occurred. So white dot along the hill area that we can see where the landslides that have occurred in the country. So landslide, sometimes it comes with mudslide as well, usually caused by heavy rainfall as triggered factor for such event in Southeast Asia region, as well as in Peninsular Malaysia. Landslide susceptibility mapping was used usually to look at to estimate the fatality of this landslide. Usually this map will be overlaid with with other criteria to see what the damage that it has caused. In Southeast Asia region, the data here, the video actually is sourced from NASA. Yeah, we downloaded it just to show the area hotspot where landslide event that have occurred during the monsoon season. So heavy rains is also another factor that have caused landslide. So historical event of landslides in Malaysia, for example, between 1998 to 2019, we have about 49 cases where most of it are caused by design error, construction error, design and construction error, and geological features, and also due to maintenance. The view here is Karak Highway, where landslide occur that just next to the highway, highway connecting between East Coast and West Coast of Peninsular Malaysia. And then Taman Hillview is in 2002, also have quite dramatic impact to the resident the area. And the other one, recently we heard of Batang Kali landslide in 2022, where more than 100 people where it occurred in the campsite in Batang Kali. So in Batang Kali landslide in 2022, where more than 450,000 meters square soil was displaced. The area was the campsite where we have people camps below it, and then the damage was where 31 people were killed and 8 people were hospitalized and 61 was rescued. So our team at USM also have expertise in the research, particularly in landslide. Slide failure, for example, they look at landslide, the impact on both on human and also the property. In Malaysia, we have National Disaster Management Agency that have that play the roles and responsibility to coordinate the disaster risk reduction program, public awareness and plan, operation of disaster release and trust fund, and also deployment of special Malaysia disaster assistance and rescue, which carry out research and rescue operation. So far, for Narimah, they adopt 4 main strategy consists of prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. So the cycle adopted by Malaysian disaster risk reduction programs. So the study by our colleagues is on community slope risk and awareness. They aim to look at community slope risk mapping process using Idrisi software, and then they also conducted community slope risk evaluation using household survey. Yeah, community slope risk mapping was conducted where the location selected because of the focus. They focus on research mainly on community living or utilizing hillside area in their daily routine. So the mapping process of community slope risk, they use geographical data. They use GIS to map and also produce landslide susceptibility maps. Based on 67 respondent interview, landslide awareness campaign, looking at the campaign, the action taken by the local authority, and the obedience, the evacuation orders related to natural disaster. So this question was asked to the respondent living the area in the areas that are prone to landslide. Yeah. So finally, the map. The map on the area were produced where they have a very high area with high susceptibility for landslide, and also moderately and also low susceptibility in landslide. So this area is in Batu Feringhi, small in the northern part of Penang Island, where we produce landslide risk map. So basically, okay, flood and landslide in Malaysia pose significant challenges to both human safety and also national development. Problem with intense rainfall and also human activities such as deforestation, unplanned urbanization can trigger the event. Geological property and climate factors also contribute to landslide. So geospatial technology have become tools that being used to analyze data for hazard mapping, risk zoning, modeling for the disaster. This technology also facilitate rapid data sharing among other agencies and also enhance decision making for evacuation and emergency. So I think with that, I thanks everyone for the opportunity. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
There.
Thank you, Professor Narimah.
Stop.
It was a very nice presentation.
No, here. Okay, and now we have some questions for you.
All right.
Should I prepare all the questions for her,
No,
or are we going to?
Prepare. Sorry.
Okay, so first of all, this is not the field of, this is not one of my strands of interest, so I'm more human geographer, but I think it was a very enlightening, very interesting interview. Interview, no, it was a presentation. So I wanted also to ask you that some months ago, I think it's already 6 months, on October the 29th of October 2024, in our region, in the province of Valencia, we suffer some of the most severe and most heavy rains and floods that occur in the last years. One of the most critical issues was the failure of the political level of response in managing alerts and emergency protocols, whereas the technical side of the response worked more effectively. And in fact, those who were more effective were the volunteers around the area of Valencia. So based on your experience and the Malaysian context, how are these type of risks managed there? And what kinds of mechanisms are in place to ensure coordination between technical expertise and political decision making?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I think in Malaysia, we experience flood, for example, quite frequently, particularly during December monsoon season. During December, in the state of Kelantan, Terengganu, almost every year they experience flooding. So when the time, wherever the flood occur, then everyone, what I mean by everyone, every agency sending volunteer to help. So the coordination was tremendous because we have agencies that doing the rescue mission. We have also National Disaster Management Agency. We also have local authority that are doing the coordination. And then volunteer come from different part of the nation. It's not just in the area, even our university student, all the university, we have 20 public university, every university sends students as volunteer to help with the cleanup, to help in terms of rescue, working at the rescue center and everyone. So not only people in the army, people in police force, so they send people to help out. So the coordination was tremendous. They didn't look at the political party anymore because we have different political party, but at that time the whole country come together just to facilitate with the disasters that's occurred. As I mentioned, every year, whenever happen, every university, every public university, even in our University Science Malaysia, we have a special unit that coordinate this volunteering for students. So we always send like 2 or 3 buses of students to the area to help out, particularly for the cleanup, because sometimes flood occur about 1 week or 3 days, for example. So the cleaning up after that is also taking so long, so much of the time and effort, and also delivering the water, food supply, for example. So those are the coordination. I think not only done at a local level, but also at a federal level, where we have the agencies that coordinate doing the coordination. At the same time, the support from everyone was very much tremendous. A lot of support actually.
So already the risk is embedded in society, and people know how to act and how to react in a short term?
Yeah, for flood, I think we are pretty much ready in the sense because it's occurred quite frequently. The thing with landslide, because sometimes we didn't really could not predict where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, things like that. So that kind of but same goes with flood. Whenever the disaster happen, then the other agency, federal and state agency will come together to help out the victim and everything come. The government will usually given approve special allocation or special fund to help the victim and also to help the rescue mission.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. We have another question.
Okay.
Because you have focused on the application of GIS in urban spatial growth and addressing inequalities. And in light of the devastating floods that occurred in Malaysia in recent years, such as those of December 2021, what role do you believe GIS and urban spatial modeling can play in improving flood risk management and the protection of vulnerable communities in the future?
Okay. Previously, I've done a mapping of people with cancer, breast and colorectal cancer. We done a research related to poverty, for example. We map where the people are living, for example, where are the poor people. With GIS, for example, we can map out and then try to find association between whatever environmental factors or other factors that contribute to the series of the event. For example, what I wanted to do now and I have yet to do is that to map vulnerable community of farmers that are living in areas that where flood occur quite frequently. So I think in terms of looking at where people live and find association between other spatial characteristic of the area. That is the strength that we have when we do mapping and also do using GIS to study whatever phenomenon it is. For example, in the study of poverty, for example, we developed previously our study, we study poverty. We map individual household, in fact, to see what are the characteristics, what are the economic opportunities they miss so that they become poor. So what kind of environment or housing, the houses, the characteristic of the house they are living in. So those are mapping that we had done previously, and then with that data, with the complete data of the individual household that are poor, then it will be easier to have this whatever assistance to be given. But now the government of Malaysia, for example, we have this database, national database, we call it e-Kasih, where this database registered by the poor, where we have the poor registered in the database. Then the coordination for the assistance is done at a national level. So they have individual poverty data of the individual household, so that with that it will be much easier for the government and other agency to give assistance.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And the last question is that, considering Malaysia's geographical and climate conditions, how do you approach the integration of climate change projections and natural disaster preparedness in urban planning? And
Okay.
how do you see the role of universities and academic networks like ASEA and NET in fostering regional cooperation on these issues?
Okay, climate change is occurring everywhere. Nothing could be done with that. What we can do is that create awareness among our youngsters, particularly because they will be there in the future to face it. In our university, for example, our mission is transforming higher education for a sustainable tomorrow. So we pretty much emphasis on sustainability in whatever our action. For example, we install solar panel on the roof of maybe about 70% of the building in the university now, so that we not only use I mean we can part of our energy will come from a solar. We create awareness on in fact we have a center for global sustainability studies that do the coordination among particularly in the at a regional level, to work together with other university, not only just our university, but also the neighboring country. At the same time, we have this strong collaboration with the community. We have in fact a special division on community engagement network, where whatever research we are doing is that we look at how it impacts the community. For example, we have people working with marine science. For example, they have this developed seagrass or oyster, where they bring it to the community and teach the local community on how to grow it, and then at the end of the day to uplift their socioeconomic level. For example, and we also have another project on stingless bee, where our lecturer used this stingless bee to get honey for medical purposes, and then they brought this way of rearing bee, for example, on to uplift the community. Now people that are participated in this community, in the past they were the poor, now they become like their income is slightly higher and no longer in this poverty group. So in the university itself, apart from the curriculum that we have, that we instill the value of sustainability, at the same time our projects, our research are pretty much were encouraged to have some benefit or the impact, a positive impact on the community. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe just for finishing, since we had some technical problems, and yeah, Aston is on the same office, so would you mind Sergio and Pablo and Aston just to be around Narimah, please, just to say hi?
To take pictures. Okay, Anna called us.
No, not for a picture, but just for saying hi.
Picture? Oh, to say hi. All right. Can we
just
we have a problem with the audio,
like this.
because I
Also,
can't hear
Sergio.
you, Anna.
Okay.
Can we? Oh, do it.
No, I think it's fine. I don't know. Can you listen
I can
to
hear
me?
you when you do the questions, but we hear to Namira, so thanks a lot. No, I have a question, but I think that Anna, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Put your headphones.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, anyway, it's so important. Hello. No, thanks a lot for your conference. There's an idea that you repeat a lot, that is the import, maybe in the subtext, that the importance of the Gs as a tool, very important to manage the risk. No? In our country, I think that maybe it's a similar situation in other country, that in an academic world, make the maps. We use Gs to elaborate risk, floods, landslide maps. But after, the politicians are another world. Do you mean that I want to say? A few months ago, a very, very important flood, it took place in the Belizean community, and one of the most critical issues was the failure of the political level response in managing alerts, and emergency protocols, whereas the technical side of the response work more effectively. It's similar in your country. There are these two works. What is the situation? But when you have a very good maps, so you know where we can urbanize or what kind of land uses you can do. But
Okay. Well, how do you say that? Actually, for it's okay. I need a cell phone. Okay.
because maybe Anna speaks. So.
No, I think we have already repeated the same question.
And I was saying that she was asking the same question. Where
Okay.
She actually asked the same
Because I
question.
can't hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so Narimah, can you tell them that I have already done the 3 questions, please?
Okay. The 3 questions Anna already asked me. Okay. By the way, as mentioned earlier, sometimes we understand the conflict, but the system we have a politician at one side, but at the same time supporting the politician is all the government officers that are having independent in decision making. For example, we have local planners, local authority that will act whatever happened to their community, they will act there. Yeah, they didn't wait for the prime minister to come back and do the decision. So most of the time, they have this decision at the state level or at the local level that can move the things first before the federal coming in and things like that. So pretty much the budget, for example, the allocation, for example, for the state themselves, they have every department has their own budget for this to overcome disaster things like that. Okay, all right. So do I leave you or thank you so much?
Okay, so abitavo the last part. Okay, so Narimah, really thank you for the presentation. I enjoyed and I learned a lot, and I think I didn't know anything about floods and landslides in Malaysia. So thanks for all the input that you gave us, and also enjoy your time here in Spain in Alicante. And yeah, I'm happy that you are part of the Women Geographers Corner and Ascensión too. So thanks very much for the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much for hosting this presentation. I look forward also for collaboration between a geography department here and our geography department at University Science Malaysia. In fact, if you happen to be around the area, just let me know. I'll make connection with other experts in the university as well.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Wow.